Yo, welcome to the No Pick Show. I'm your host, Shadow Chaz. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that hype button. Ring the bell notification if you haven't already. And if you haven't heard by now, Jaylen Brown is setting the internet on fire. You went live on his Twitch stream. You should check it out. It's very entertaining, very insightful. And he's pretty much come out and said it. He's saying that the NBA has an agenda again, specifically the NBA officials. He said that he's heard this from them personally during the game. Truthfully, bro, after what happened with Luka and Donahue and there's all these weird things that have happened with Cooper Flag landing with the Dallas Mavericks, Anthony Davis landing with the New Orleans Pelicans or Hornets at the time, Zion Williamson landing with the New Orleans Pelicans at the time. I don't put anything past the NBA. I just don't put anything past them. Look, there's the rumors about Scott Foster exist for a reason. And last night, a lot of people weren't thrilled with Tony Brothers with Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken. So, no. So we're not going to waste too much time. We're just going to get right into the comments. He also made a really interesting comment about how much he enjoyed playing this year. And if you want to zoom out, if you want to be a bit of a conspiracy theorist, you can say he enjoyed playing without Tatum. That's how it could be interpreted. He didn't necessarily say that. I'm just saying how it could be interpreted. And maybe you want to put your bid in the trade for Jaylen Brown. But let's get to his comments.
Some referees that if I had to choose, if I had to say there's some referees that need to be investigated, like just overall out of all the officiating, we had 3 of them in the last 3 games. We have, at top of my list. So, and I,
bro, that is not a small, it's not necessarily an accusation, but it's not a small statement or comment to throw out there. Again, if you remember the Donahue documentary, he spoke about how the referees pretty much had an agenda against Allen Iverson. Personally, I believe the league and the officials may have somewhat of an issue with Jaylen Brown dating back to the whole Kyrie situation and Kyrie and Jaylen Brown's relationship. And Jaylen at that time being, I think he was the president of the Players Union, if I'm not mistaken. So I do believe there could be some sour grapes pertaining to that entire situation and how it unfolded. That's not a small statement that he made. That's a very strong statement that could warrant a very hefty fine from the NBA. I don't know if you can get fined for speaking on something in your free time, because Michael Porter Jr. probably would get fined all the time, to be honest. But I don't know if you can get fined speaking of something in your free time, but that's something that questions the integrity of the game. And Adam Silver at least is going to make a phone call, but I do think Jaylen Brown is well within his right to speak about that. And also, man, if we just want to look at the numbers, bro, if we just want to look at the numbers here, the officiating was pretty bad in the first half. The officiating was pretty bad in the first half. Personally, it as a objective basketball watcher, I'm not necessarily a Celtics fan, not a Sixers fan. I just like the NBA. Period. I thought something was weird going. Something weird was happening. Like Joel Embiid was getting every call. It seems like every big in the Celtics rotation, except for Vucevic, because he didn't play because he's trash, had like 4 fouls. It got ridiculous, to be honest. So Joel Embiid, with a game-leading 11 free throw attempts, had 5 more free throw attempts than Jaylen Brown, who led the Celtics with 6 free throw attempts. So he had 11 free throw attempts, 9-11, only had 2 fouls. Only had 2 fouls, which is kind of crazy. Jaylen Brown had 3 fouls. Luka Garza 3 fouls. Derek White 3 fouls. Kader 3 fouls. Gonzalez 3 fouls. If you were near Joel Embiid yesterday, you got called for a foul. And that's just the reality of it, bro. Not saying it was the right call, not saying it was the wrong call, but if you were near him yesterday, you got called for a foul. And that's, it's undeniable.
Same move. Same refs. Oh, it's nothing? It's a play on, right? It's weird activity. You're going to call me, right? And it's right here, right in front of you. Same move. Same move. Everybody does it. It's the same move, but this is a 3-point play. He makes a 3 right here. If it would have been me, it would have been an offensive foul. And then people saying I'm stiff arming, I'm Mark Henry stiff arming people out here, whatever y'all be saying. Like every good basketball player does this. What are y'all talking about? They clearly had an agenda. They clearly had fucking on a red board. If Jaylen does this move, call the offensive foul on him every time. I don't know if it's because I pissed the refs off. I've been critical about them, and I called them out a bunch of times. They were like, you know what, I got you in the playoffs. Watch this. And that's exactly what they did. And when you're in the middle of the series, you know, I don't got time to say that because that's a distraction. I'm trying to focus. But now that's over, some bullshit. I've been doing that all regular season. Everybody's been doing it all regular season. You're gonna call that shit on me every time. And y'all don't see it like it's an agenda. It's clearly an agenda. Look at the same move. Same move. Boom. Step back. Catch. It's the same shit. We got the same trainer. Somebody call Dash right now. I'll call Dash. Right, we got the same trainer. Teaches the same shit. It's a foul on me, but it's a good play on him. Why you think that is? I'll let y'all fill in the blank. We don't even got to talk about that. We got the same trainer. We work on the same shit. But I got 10 offensive fouls, I think more in that series. Why do you think that is? You think somebody made a phone call or somebody said that we're going to call this every time on him, but we're not going to call it on nobody else? It's all good. I mean, this is just my personal opinion on basketball. Some of y'all might disagree. You know what I mean? But argue with your grandma. Flopping has ruined our game. Joel Embiid is a great player, one of the best bigs in fucking basketball history. Flops. He know it. This ain't breaking news. This ain't, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Y'all can clip it up. Like I said, y'all can post it on these paid accounts that y'all, these bot, whatever. That's just my opinion.
Wow. Bro, honestly, I've always known Jaylen Brown to be really outspoken. I'm surprised by this. Truthfully, I'm surprised by this. I do appreciate him speaking out because the league has a major officiating problem, bro. Like it's apparent. It's apparent from SGA to the way Joel is officiated. Austin Reeves at one time earlier this season, Luka. It's just ridiculous. At one time it was James Harden. You know, it's so hard game to game to know how it's going to be called. Like when you watch the Cleveland Cavaliers versus Toronto Raptors series, Toronto's allowed to get away with endless amounts of physicality. But when Cleveland tries to return the physicality, they're called for fouls. A lot of bad in the regulation calls and overtime by the officials. They pretty much get to operate with impunity, and it's the players who suffer. And man, he is talking some cash money shit. He got more though. He's still talking about it. Let's listen.
You know how many players do that? That is such that's the common play, a basketball play. Every player does it. So why are you targeting me? They clearly had an agenda. Like maybe because I spoke and I was critical of the refs in the regular season. So you know how they responded. Like you're gonna lead the playoffs in offensive fouls. That was the response from the officiating crew. You could clearly tell, and I've actually spoke to some refs and they said it was agenda going into each game. So anytime Jaylen brings his arm up, just from reputation, just call it. Like, but Paul George does the same thing. Jalen Brunson does the same thing. Shit, I can go down the list. It's a basketball play, whether y'all believe it or not. You know what I mean? Everybody does that when you drive, especially if you got bodies on you. But Philly took advantage of it, and they took advantage of the officiating, and it cost us to some degree. But I've been doing it all regular season, not a problem. And now all of a sudden, it's offensive foul every time. You better keep that same energy with everybody else. That's all I got to say.
Man. You know, it's personally, I agree with Jaylen, personally. But there's a lot of people that view this as like, bro, you lost. You know what I'm saying? Have some respect for the other team, and they just beat you. You know what I'm saying? You didn't play your best this series. Tatum was hurt. You know, Derrick White had a poor series. Just bow out gracefully, go gently into the night, accept defeat. And seemingly he's doing that, but he's also kind of, explaining what he believes went wrong and how the officiating influenced the game heavily and maybe unfairly, which could potentially lead to some NBA or league investigation. If an official, I have no reason to doubt Jaylen Brown telling the truth. So if an official really told Jaylen Brown, yo, there's an agenda against you, maybe not in those words, but if they even alluded to that, then that warrants a serious league investigation. And I'm hoping Adam Silver takes this serious, because if Jaylen Brown is saying this publicly to millions of people, I'm sure he's told people in the players union what's happened. I'm sure he's going to be speaking with the league office, telling them what has occurred here. So it's going to be very interesting. Very interesting. One last tidbit. Speaking on his regular season, I believe Jaylen Brown should have been in high consideration for MVP this year. I don't know if the postseason is going to affect that, but he spoke about how much he enjoyed playing this year and how much he really enjoyed the tempo, just, equal opportunity basketball. And it's kind of interesting, to say that with Tatum being out all year and you emphasizing that this has been your favorite year. So what does that mean necessarily?
And this group was a special group. I'm so proud of this group and the way we played. I wish we trusted that style of play a little bit more, but I know playoffs kind of shifted our rotations and what we wanted to do. But I'm so proud, and it was my favorite year of my basketball career. One, streaming with you guys, chat, was awesome. Like, being able to talk to y'all was like therapy every single day. You know what I mean? I mean, not every day, like once a week or whatever, what I was doing. Just to be able to get on here, give y'all the perspective, and kind of, because, these narratives be going left and right, just to hear it from the horse's mouth. But then also being able to just be a part of a group that just, through the uncertainty, came to fight and came to compete and came and went to war. I'll take a team like that any day of the week.
Now, me listening to it again, I don't think it's a shot at Tatum at all. I think he's more so saying he appreciates how these guys fought against adversity, how they overcame adversity, because a lot of people anticipated this being a gap year for the Boston Celtics, myself included. A lot of people thought that they wouldn't be able to compete with the injuries and the retooling on the fly. You're trading away guys like Drew Holiday, and Kristaps Porzingis is gone. Like, everyone's gone, and they still were the number 2 seed, if I'm not mistaken. Balled out, won 50-plus games, had an incredible season. Missoula had an incredible season, that coach. Something just changed in the postseason when, they kind of shifted how they were playing. With Tatum coming back, Tatum being the number 1 option, as he should be. He's an incredible player, superstar guy. It just kind of shifted what we saw during the regular season, but also it's the playoffs. The playoff basketball and this regular season basketball sometimes couldn't be more different. But I don't know. It's something interesting. But what do you guys think? Do you think Jaylen Brown is right, or do you think that he's being bitter? He has sour grapes. Do you think there is an agenda against him? Personally, as a guy who covers the Pelicans extensively, I've watched Zion Williamson get the worst whistle in fucking basketball history, aside from maybe Shaq. Like, Zion Williamson doesn't shoot the ball almost ever. Every bucket is at the rim. And this man, I think he barely averages 9 to 10 free throws a game. It's horrendous. It's horrendous. So we definitely have an NBA officiating problem. I agree with Jaylen Brown, and I hope the league does something about this, and these referees need to be held accountable. But that's for today's show. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, leave a comment, hype up the video, and I'm out. Peace.